मेरा कर्मा तू, मेरा धर्मा तू, तेरा सब कुछ मैं, मेरा सब कुछ तू. There are two terms, karma and dharma. Karma are actually the actions done in past and in present. And dharma is something association of your duties performed in a righteousness, with honesty, integrity, and with certain ethics. On 15th August 1947, when India got independence, these two things, as you know, on the cusp of independence, the young Indians decided that they would follow. There was an oath taken by the generation of India, which was going to build a new society, a society which has liberty of thoughts, expression, beliefs, and everything. They were coming out of the colonial rule. They were coming out of the dominance of external forces. They were going to build a nation with a new identity, an identity as an Indian. When we got independence, when we made a nation, a free nation, we gave up religious identities. We did not give up the religion, but we gave up the religious identity. That there are no Hindus, no Muslims, only Indians will lead to a nation, will lead to a country that will not only succeed, get progress, grow at the cusp of independence, but with ethics and best performance. Whatever terrible things that has happened or we have done to ourselves, we will not let that happen again. Hello and welcome to another episode of Growth and Development. Today is Independence Day, 77th celebration is happening all around the India. It's been 76 years we got the independence. Certainly there are certain positive things to look around in terms of infrastructure growth, financial growth, so many things that have, taken place. But the question still remains the same. Have we really achieved what we have targeted when we were lowering down the Union Jack and raising the Indian flag? What were the expectations of our great leaders who handed over this great society, free society, to the young India and asked us to proceed it further to make a successful nation? When I say successful nation, I do not mean growth and progress only. I mean it success with inclusion. Inclusiveness was something that was, missing. We were growing exponentially with the British also in terms of infrastructure, but there was no inclusion of our own people belong to the same land. From their land, the agriculture, which was part of our GDP that point of time, 23% of overall world GDP we were sharing when the British arrived on our shore. The agriculture was something, agriculture and the byproduct of agriculture, weaving and all that stuff, participated or helped India grew to a larger level. But when the British left our shore, there were lots of challenges that our great leaders had. The first thing is to build a society which is free society, but it still have some discipline. A nation which will respect every religion but will not have its own religious identity. The education system, the agriculture system, which was running at that point of time, needed a lot of improvement. The agriculture revolution took place. Educational system was in a very pathetic state. We had only few universities, Muslim universities, and the Nehru's vision to have, IITs, like in the institution which will have a quality education. Initial stages even for IITs institution were very complex because there was no better faculties. People, those who were studying, after a couple of years, they had to teach back to to the coming batches. That was the challenge that we had during the initial stages of IITs, Kharagpur I'm talking about. So the education expansion taken place, we have got from 100 few universities, sorry, few university to 100,000 universities and colleges, all piled up everywhere. Infrastructure growth has taken place, certainly no doubt about that. Financially, we are in a good position what we were 76 years back, but there was a motive to build a developed nation which hasn't been achieved so far. The reason being that forever, if you call yourself developing nation, you are not on a right path. Certainly there are a few aspects that we had to look as a nation, not only a ruling party or opposition party or the governing government. As an individual voter, we all need to think about it. you know our informal sector still has not been standardized, formalized in a way that it become the part of uh, organized sector. The education system is still of not that quality that we were expecting. Not everybody is able to go into IIT or IIM, or let's say the basic education, the primary education is still a question. We committed to our children because earlier when the children were out of school, it was parents' fault. If today if they're out of school or not getting quality education, it is government fault. It is a fault of people those who are in the power. Giving the quality education, better health system, putting more budgets, putting more uh, efforts into the education sector by building the foundation of young India is certainly the only way out to make a successful nation. When I say successful, again, with humanity, inclusion, with and that is called success. Success not only means the growth that you show in some form of data. It means with an inclusion and humanity. And the last but not the least, the more you need to concentrate upon building the trust of the people, and also need to educate the people not from the bookish perspective. Need to educate them that what is the purpose of having a free nation. Having a free nation does not mean that you continuously doing the protest on the road, jamming the road, and making bothering other people. Free nation means that you have a governing body which is giving you certain rights and also giving you free education, free medical system in a response, in a reverse. What is in return what you are expecting? You are supposed to ensure the integrity of the nation. You're supposed to ensure that you perform your dharma, and your karma should be in favor of the nation, should not go against the nation. So that's the cusp of independence. Once again, by putting the right sort of budget for education and medical system, by giving the quality education to our young generation. When I say young generation, because if you look at any successful country, the progress developed nation, they all worked upon the basic education. They all gave free education and ensured that they reached to the unreached people, unreached and underprivileged people, people those who don't have any idea what they are supposed to do. So those sort of things, the institutions, whatever institutions we have, they have to ensure that the governing parties, the ruling parties are working into that direction only. Getting along with the globe, during the part of globalizations, and getting along with the technological evolution is also very important at the same time. And with that is thing that seems to be more or less that we are matching up with the pace. But unfortunately, we need to ensure that why only out of 1.5 billion people, 1 or 2% as taxpayer. 70% economy GDP is coming from informal sector. Why we are unable to organize it after 76 years? Why in last 76 years we only 1 or 2%, 3% people are capable enough to give the tax to the government? And the people, those who are giving the taxes, why they have not been given an opportunity to participate, to build the nation, to make, you know, to make the policies, or at least they were invited to give their opinions when somebody makes an amendment in the constitution or comes up with a bill or new laws. The reservation, the segment that was supposed to be uplifted, few people are still living in under poverty. They're still part of the discrimination. So that sort of things we have to sort it out, because untouchability, discrimination, by giving reservation, we wanted to uplift certain people, those who were left out for thousands of years, of discrimination or injustice. But still today, if we go into the interior, into the rural areas, you will find the people who belong to the certain caste, they are still not being recognized by few people, that they are part of the country, they are integral part of the country. So those sort of things has to be sorted out, national level, state level, city level, and rural level as well. So by giving the quality education to everybody, and by ensuring that it goes to the people those who are supposed to get, because when we say the basic education, fundamental, it is 100%. There is no 98% or 90%. When you have 100% quality education, people coming with basic quality education, they will be able to do something better for the nation itself. And the second thing is, somebody who's earning their bread and butter, it should not go wasted on their health if they come into an emergency situation. So those sort of things the government has to think about, by getting along all these wonderful projects, the fancy items that we all hear from the news channels. I think this is the main motive of having an independent country, that you take care of your borders, take care of your national security, your territorial disputes that you already have. The most of the budget that is going into the defense system. So I'm not saying that has to be cut off, but yes, an alternative solution has to be in place, because 76 years, if you say we are still developing, you're not on a right path of developing. 76 years is a long time. 7 decades have gone and we haven't become a developed nation. And why? Because we have still not yet invested into the quality education. When I say education, it does not mean let's go ahead and ensure that everybody's 10th standard pass or 12th standard pass. Education means you give intellect to the people, that even if they come out of their colleges, they do not have sufficient money or resources to go for a higher education. You should have some community colleges for people, those who can learn. And now when you have some new technologies coming in, artificial intelligence, machine learning and all that, you need to have some open colleges, where the people from underprivileged society can go and learn from of these new things. And I met a person, who was selling out jaggeries on a bicycle. He did not have a smartphone, and because he did not have a smartphone, he was not able to sell out his product, what he was supposed to sell, because he had no smartphone, he had no knowledge how to use Paytm and all that. He lost his revenue. He had to give up this thing. So then he had to go back to his hometown by leaving this tier 1 city. So why is that? Why the government is not able to ensure that if they have introduced a new system of payment gateway and all that, why not everybody is getting educated on this, and whether they are capable enough of handling this new technology system, or if not having the full amount of, if their pockets not allowed to go for buying a new smartphone, why not government distributing I'm not talking about the free buyers and all that during the election campaign, when they promise that there will be This is not going to solve the problem. It will make people idiot. This have already made certain people lazy. Free buys have already, done too much damage in our system. So we don't want to go for free buys. Yes, give and take relationship. As I said, to mera karma, to mera dharma. You perform your duties, in return we will ensure your liberty, your and justice for all of you, and the opportunities for all. Opportunities, whether it's government sector job opportunities, opportunity to grow your small businesses. Government needs to help people, those who have an ideas to run their own, set up their businesses. Government needs to come up with certain policies that do not only help people, those who have already become billionaire, or Ambani Adani sort of stuff. There are multiple people in India, 1.5 billion people. At least 25 million will be still looking out how to run their set up their own business. So government need to give sort of, certain, come up with certain schemes, policies, that all these 25 million people, those who want to run a business at a small scale, they have all resources. They when they reach out to the financial system or to the system which can help out setting up a business, they are reachable. They are not rigid, they are not aggressive, they are not very scary. It is very difficult to get in touch with a government officer in this country after 76 years. If you feel little bit uncomfortable going to a police station to talk to a police officer, that means you have not achieved what you wanted, what you intend after the free society. So what is the difference of having the British colony rule and our your own policing system, when you are still not comfortable to go to a police station, or let's say any other government based organization? When people don't feel comfortable in any of these sectors, because the way of talking, the way of dealing of these officers, or forget about the officers, the people at the ground level, they do not have the discipline how to talk to a citizen who's a taxpayer. So this is something, worrying. And until we fix these issues, we will not be able to become a successful nation by making. And you need to remember the word of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the member of uh, Constitutional Assembly, and he said that the system need people who have a vision, who will not sacrifice the nation's good for the sake of small group of people. To make, like, somebody says that we'll give free buys, somebody says we'll make the nation in this form, that form. You are giving something which is, maybe you will not be able to fulfill, or the constitution doesn't allow you to make the nation that way. So we have to be very careful when you vote for the next time. And thank you so much for watching me again. I wish you all happy Independence Day once again. Hope you have a good life. Great. Bye bye.